given the time constraint right now, just with our catering schedule, I would suggest that we hear from Mayor Pete's campaign, or former Mayor Pete's campaign, and then we'll break for coffee for a little bit, and then hear from the rest of the presidential candidates' campaigns. So welcome to the stage. This is Adrian joining us from London.
So, well, thank you so much, Candace, for having us, and this event is just amazing. I have to say, I'm in the UK, and this is remarkable what you guys are doing in Germany here. You all should be very, very, very proud. And I've been so inspired by the organization today, and 30 get out the vote sites, is it, that you guys have? How many voting sites is it for global primary? I think in the UK we have 4 or something. I mean, it's very, very, very impressive, this operation here, and you guys should be really proud, so thank you. So my name's Adrian Minster. I am, did we get the slides? Oh, yeah. I'm helping out Pete's campaign, and so we have a global organization called Americans Abroad for Pete. We have thousands of people already engaged in the campaign in countries all around the world, from China to Mexico, from Malta to, let me think, Vancouver Island was one of our calls, so we have trouble with time zones. We're like Taiwan to Vancouver Island. Can everyone get on the call? It's been really, really fun so far. And I think what I love about Mayor Pete's campaign, or former Mayor Pete's campaign now, is that we are dedicated to meeting voters everywhere, and that includes especially Americans overseas, which, as we know, is a very forgotten about population. We are so many people overseas, and only 7% turnout in the last general. We have to do better this time around, no matter who the candidate is. We agree with, the speaker from Mr. Biden's campaign. It's so important that all of us vote, no matter who we are supporting, and Pete's campaign absolutely stands by that commitment, and we will work as hard and harder for whomever the nominee is when that nominee is selected. Pete's campaign thought very deeply about how to engage voters overseas. I'm on a weekly call with them. We have people leading up operations in many countries around the world. Quaid here is a very active volunteer in helping to lead up operations here, so please reach out to Quaid or myself later today if you want. And Pete knows about being abroad because he was in the military, of course. He was a Rhodes Scholar, studied at Oxford. He's a tough act to follow because he was actually at this event 3 years ago and was the keynote speaker. So back then he was just the mayor that nobody had ever heard of, the most interesting mayor nobody had ever heard of, and now I'm so delighted that so many other people now know about him. And so I know many of you guys have actually met him yourself, and I'm really grateful for that. But why do I support Pete? Well, he's a friend. We went to college together. We also worked on John Kerry's presidential campaign together in 2004 in Arizona. I was a field organizer, Pete was our researcher. And we have been involved in politics for a very, very, very long time. And people ask me often, is Pete the same as what you see on TV? Is he the same as when you were a friend, knowing him in college? And he is. What you see is what you get. He's exactly the same as what you see on TV, and I'm very proud of that. I'm proud he hasn't changed one bit. I think the things that, beyond just knowing him personally and knowing how authentically he cares about our country and how deeply he's thought about the issues, is 2 values that I want to highlight. One is listening. So I don't know if any of you guys saw the CNN town hall, which was where he really started to cut through, but he answers not just the question, but the question behind the question, the unspoken question. And that's what I love. He doesn't shy away from that. And I think we need a lot more listening to bring people back in, which brings me to the second value, which underpins everything that Pete's campaign is doing, which is belonging. Everyone belongs in Pete's campaign. Everyone. Doesn't matter if you voted for Trump, doesn't matter where you fit on the political spectrum. If you connect with the values that Pete represents, you belong in that campaign. And that means inclusivity, That means involving people that we wouldn't necessarily have engaged otherwise. Everyone belongs because we need everyone. We need everyone to win back the White House in 2020. And so I really think that Pete has a great opportunity to do that. And why do I think that? My parents are snowbirds. They live between Michigan and Arizona, and not like fancy Arizona. They're in Mesa, Arizona, in the trailer parks, to use that term. I was an organizer there, and so they were the first ones to say to me in 2016, Adrian, I'm a little bit worried about this campaign. People we wouldn't have thought, people in progressive Saugatuck, Michigan, are talking about Trump. And I was like, oh God, no, Mom, no. Hillary's got this, we've got this. She's like, no, I'm worried. And sure enough, my parents were right. They said, look, the Democrats, people are hurting. And we're not acknowledging that people are hurting, legitimately hurting. And that people just weren't feeling heard, hence the listening so important. And so what's interesting to me is this year, they're saying to me, hey, Adrian, you know what people are talking about now? They're talking about Pete. They want to know more about this guy from Indiana and Michigan. They want to know more about this guy from Indiana and Arizona. And, building on that point, I think we have to win these states. We have to bring those voters that felt unheard and then voted another way last time back in. And Pete is somehow getting through to these voters, and he's getting through to them. I love one of his favorite quotes is, I don't need to listen to some focus group to figure out what's happening. I just go to Target, because he's at Target all the time, right? He's normal. He's not a millionaire. He's on the ground, and that's why I love Pete. So more about us and how you can get involved. So we have been doing lots of events. Just this Thursday, we had Reggie Love in London. He's Obama's former body man, if I can use that term, and also basketball partner. Reggie was just in South Carolina talking to voters in South Carolina about Pete, had some really encouraging things to say there about the African American community. And he's really working hard and working with Pete to make sure that we're reaching voters in South Carolina. Chasten, of course, was here. He was in London, Paris, and Geneva. We're working to get him back out. Germany is very high on our list of places to go. If we can get him back, yes, Germany, I'm going to make it happen. Pete, of course, did the global webinar. He, I think, was the first one. He was also the first one to make the ballot for Democrats abroad. And so we've been tabling at Shakespeare & Co. But the message is we'd love to get you guys involved. And if you want to be involved, please sign up. This is the URL. I'll drop it into the WhatsApp group after this. But please join the campaign. Please vote. You all will vote, but please get everybody to vote for any candidate, right? It's just too important not to. So, really, I welcome you into the Pete Circle if you want. If that's not your bag, that's also okay. We love everybody. We love all the candidates. Thank you so much, and thank you for this lovely event. So, thank you.